We will officially launch this book. Please welcome Carraholly.
President, captains, councillors, friends, I want to welcome everybody here tonight and thank you for taking time out of your busy week to be here and to celebrate the launch of A Social History, Facts, Faces and Folklore. This is the second time that a book has been launched about this golf club. The first time was in 2008 when we celebrated our centenary, and tonight we are celebrating 50 years at this club. It is our golden anniversary, and while this is a great span of time, it has actually moved very quickly. Dale Carnegie said that there are always 3 speeches for every actual one that you do. The one you practiced, the one you gave, and the one you wish you gave. I hope that the few words I say tonight are the ones that I really want to say on this very special occasion. Golf can be all-consuming, and there's a story told about a husband and wife after playing a round of golf, and they were back up in the clubhouse having a cup of coffee, and she turned to him and she said, "John, you think about nothing but golf. I bet you," she said, "you cannot even remember the day we got married." And with a big smile on his face, he said, "Of course I can, dear. That was the day I sunk a 54-foot putt." And like that, there has been great fun at this course. There has been success and heartbreak in inter-club competitions. There has been the odd row. But my abiding memory of the last 50 years has been the building of friendships and the camaraderie that has developed among members. All of our members are very proud of this course. We wanted to succeed and we wanted to reach further heights. When the golfers came up from Old Carraholly, a 9-hole course surrounded by wire and lots of cow paths on the fairway, the golfers actually thought that they had landed in heaven. The difference between the old course and the new was dramatic. They could not believe the layout that they faced here, this beautiful Fred Hawtrey design course. And they did appreciate the gift that they had been given. And while golf started in Westport in 1908, 115 years ago, it really started in 1973 on this course. Liam undertook to produce this book, A Social History, to celebrate the club's 50th anniversary. For those of you that may not know, this is Liam's 7th published book. And Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. In this book, you will see that Liam has captured the facts, the faces, and the folklore absolutely perfectly. When Liam approached me about producing a book to celebrate the 50th year, and I discussed it with the council who were 100% behind it, I said to Liam, yes, you can proceed, you should, and if you have the tenacity and the courage, you will. And to produce the book that you see here this evening takes tenacity, it takes courage, it takes research, it takes time, it takes a lot of effort. When we look at the captain's board that's over there, we see the names of wonderful men and women who each contributed to the building of this club. And they were all proud to give of their time and their experience to ensure that the club succeeded. There were hundreds of other members who are not on that board, who also gave of their time to ensure that the club succeeded. Many on that board, and indeed in the golfing community from 1973, are no longer with us, but their presence will be forever captured in this publication. This book is a lasting memory of events over 50 years, and it will forever remain as part of the club's heritage. There's a saying that stars can't shine without darkness. Well, Liam has taken hundreds of photos from darkness, and they will forever shine in this marvellous publication. On behalf of our members, I want to sincerely thank Liam for his generosity in bringing all of the photos and the folklores together in one publication. He gave this time so that we can enjoy the moments, that we can enjoy the memories recorded here. I'm reminded of a story of Jesus Christ playing around the golf with Moses. I know, think about it. And they came to a famous par 3, 220 yards over water. And Jesus turned to Moses and he said, I saw Arnold Palmer play a 4-iron from here. He landed the ball 5 foot from the pin, canned the putt for a birdie. So he put down the ball, took out a 4-iron, and Moses said, you won't get over there with a 4-iron, you need a 4-wood. But he wasn't to be deterred, and Jesus Christ hit the ball and it landed in the water. But not to be deterred, he went down, parted the water, picked up his ball and brought it back up, and repeated the shot again with the same result. So he went back down again, parted the water, brought up his ball, and he said to Moses, if Arnie can do it, so can I. So anyhow, he was about to go with the 4-iron again, when a 4-ball coming up behind, one guy roared at him, hey, he said, you won't get over there unless you use a 4-wood. You won't get over there with a 4-iron. Who do you think you are, Jesus Christ? And Moses said, no, he thinks he's Arnold Palmer. Now, Lee may not be Arnold Palmer, but he knows what makes the heart of this club tick. Ladies and gentlemen, I recommend this book to everybody. As you turn the pages in this book, enjoy the moments, enjoy the memories recorded there. This book will bring a smile to your face, and if it doesn't, you need to go and see somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to say that this wonderful book is launched. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl. We know that Liam is a gifted poet and an artist, but do you know that he also excelled at other sports? He's a brilliant darts player and he's a very shrewd card player. But he played Gaelic football too for Kilmena and Westport, and he played soccer for Allergan during the 7-a-side soccer leagues that were played here. And Liam always played in goals because he was always seen as having a safe pair of hands. Liam was a master at saving penalties because he had a technique. And he told me about this technique one time. He said, when the taker places the ball, there's 12 yards between the ball and the goal line. When the kicker would start his run up, Liam would start his run out. By the time the kicker got to the ball, the 12 yards was greatly reduced. And he said it worked every time, because at that stage the referee would never ask to have a penalty retaken. Liam kept us all involved with his online quizzes during COVID, time that we couldn't get out to play golf. I have known Liam now for almost 40 years since I started working in Allergan. And Liam always played in goals because he was always seen as having a safe pair of hands. But he knows what makes the heart of this club tick. I was starting and I was coming into plastics where Liam was the manager. And on the day I started, Liam was coming up to meet me, reception. And I saw this guy coming up, and I said, surely that's not him. He can't be a manager. He looks like someone straight out of school. Maybe he's in here on work experience. But it was him. We shook hands, and at that time, I don't believe we've ever had a crossword. Liam has always been a team player, and it now gives me great pleasure to call on the man of the moment. Please welcome Liam Friel.
Welcome everybody, and thanks so much for turning up tonight for this book launch. I'm thrilled that this day has arrived, but also enormously relieved after a year's work. Thanks Liam for your kind words, President Anne for your words in Carraholly, and for Colette, and just to fill in the detail for Colette, the 19,500 trees were planted by the Drummond man, Jerry Joyce. That was in 1997. Welcome Councillor Christy Hyland and Councillor John O'Malley. Thanks for taking the time to be here tonight. I very much appreciate it. Thanks, Colin, for your words and for all that you've said, and not only what Colin said tonight, but for all the great work that Colin and Council does for this club. The club wouldn't be where it is today without the leadership of Colin and Council, and I said what the Council do. Thanks to Christy for 40 years. It doesn't feel like 40 years of friendship with Christy. Christy is a friend at work, but a friend in the golf as well, and was instrumental in the building of Westport Pitch and Putt. It wouldn't be here but for Christy took on that and led it. Nothing is left to chance with Christy. Even this evening, he advised me what to wear. This is a big night for me and for my family, but it isn't about me. This is Westport Golf Club celebrating 50 years. It's the people of Carraholly celebrating together. It's friends, distant members, all celebrating. It's members of neighbouring clubs that have come together. And it's also an opportunity for the club to showcase the great place this golf club is. I'd like to thank the council, and as Carl said, at the AGM last year, if they didn't give me the approval, this book wouldn't be here today. So thanks to the council for that. Thanks to all of the people who gave me pictures, and thanks to the people who gave me names when I couldn't put names on people. And as you get older, it's a bit more difficult to put names on people. But fair play to people that I annoyed. I went back to time and time again until we got all of the names. Pat Cawley and the Mail News and the photographers. And thanks to the people during the year who gave me encouragement to get this book finished. There's two people, I suppose when we talk about the golf club, we talk about the continuity, and Carl talked about it there. But there's two people in particular that are just synonymous with the club, and when we talk about events that are on here, and they are Marriage and Cavan. So Marriage and Cavan brings stability and consistency to the club, and captains come and go, presidents come and go, committees come and go, but they're the people who are the face of the club and who have that continuity over the years. And we know an awful lot of debt to them. They're the face of the club. You do tremendous work, and thank you very much. So yes, this was a very time-consuming project. Mary Friel can attest to me in great detail. But the time that I spent in this was only a fraction of the enjoyment that I got from this club, and from living in Carraholly, and as I said, from being a member of this club. It wasn't golf that brought me to Carraholly. It was love. And a free sight to golf. So while I was doing this book and working late at it, I always went to bed with the bed warm, because Mary was always in the bed first. So in appreciation of that, Mary, a bouquet of flowers for you, just to thank you for being a great wife. So the 40 years have been, strong family ties. Nicola worked over here, and it's not all about golf. The social events that run in the golf club, our 3 kids were actively involved in those social events, and they enjoyed them as well as I did. Laura was on the first girls junior team, and the posters that you see up here, Connor designed those for us, and they're great to have those posters, and thanks Connor for that. To Rob and to Mark who are here, and then to Nina, Finn, Joey and Dara, who's 5 months old. For me it was easy. It was a jump over the wall. Easier when I was younger. Still trying to jump over the wall, but I use the gates more often at this point. Or to walk to the golf for the golf lessons, and then maybe a few Bicardis and walk home afterwards. While it's a short journey from the golf club home, for some people it has proven a little more treacherous. I love my involvement in the golf club. The inter-club matches against other clubs, the match plays in the club competitions, winning Willie Elliott's captain's prize, and on the same day Laura won the ladies section of that competition, winning the King's Cup with John Collins, the race to Portugal with Tom Walsh, again a very memorable occasion. The 1990s and the Open Weeks were just amazing times when there was music, friends come down from Ballycastle, from Dublin, from Cork, and they enjoyed this club and they made it their club, and they made it for us as well, with sing-songs and music late into the night. Our matches and our relationships with neighbouring clubs, Mulroney's, Castlebar, Ballinrobe, they're great, I suppose, clubs that are neighbours, but there's been great friendship with those clubs. Rivalry for sure when matches were on, but when it was over, 3 clubs certainly working superbly well together. And then our twinning with Woodward. But mostly for me it was around the social events. So the senior citizens parties, retirement parties, birthday parties, the service awards for the staff, Thursday night social, the quiz, the magician that Jim and Michael brought in, the Carraholly residence night, we had pre-wedding parties, we had day 2s of weddings, and we had mock weddings. We had art exhibitions and conferring life membership on Jeremy Brown in 2012. And I was that annoying person with the camera. So because of that, while I had that, it also meant that when I was capturing the moment of events that were on here, it was also capturing history as it unfolded, but it was then a massive collection that I had when I started to work on this book. It was a great starting point. And as you read through it, you'll see some people feature a lot and other people don't. People who feature the most in the book were the people who were involved the most, both in golf, in social events, and the life of the club. And it brings me into the facts, faces, and the folklore. So some of the facts, there's 500 articles in this book. They were researched from over 50 years. There's 2,500 main uses, 2,500 colour telegraphs within the national papers. But that's some of the data that Christie had. That's where that comes from, is the results of competitions, names of committees, cost of membership. And sometimes the best score on the day didn't always win. But every article that's in it is linked to an event and to a date. Which brings us to the faces. So there are 1,600 pictures in the book. Over 2,100 people are featured either in photo or in the articles that are printed. But the interesting thing is that 1,000 people that are in the book were never members of the golf club. So it shows the spread that the golf club has. Now it's not just a members club, it spreads way beyond that. And the connection in the next 48 hours that Carl has launched the book, one of them will be on its way to Melbourne in Australia to Father Jim Stanton. So this shows the reach of where the involvement of people in the past and people who have come here and where the book will end up. In this you'll see princesses, you'll see ambassadors, you'll see presidents, you'll see a 7-week-old Adam Morden, a 100-year-old Mary Nestor. You'll see the Lonergan girls, Mary Kate and Ellen, who were in the book as pictures, taken someplace down there, and today they are All Ireland champions. It's a great credit to them, and it's a great connection with the past. In it you'll see pictures of husbands and wives, and you'll see pictures of husbands with other men's wives. It was just the way the picture was taken. The folklore goes back to 1977, and the Kilmeny team they won their first junior title in 1977, and in the main news it said, win, lose or draw, they'll go to celebration in the golf club, and they did. You'll see dealings with Bord Fáilte, and here's folklore is that the original design of the golf club had 5 par 3s. So for people who are not golfers, that probably doesn't mean a lot, but for people who are golfers, there was 5 par 3s in the original design. Aeroplanes landed on the course, foxes were released from snares out on the 16th. And actually in the single picture you can see all 3. You can see the fact of maybe the official result, you can see the face, so maybe a strong handshake and a genuine smile. And then in the next picture, you'll see a weak handshake and a forced smile. And the folklore is the people who are watching, the people who are watching the presentation take place. And they watch the giver and they watch the receiver. And they work out whether the handshake and the smile are genuine or not. The layout of the book is deliberate, so it's not in chronological order. And the reason for that is that if you got the book in chronological order, you'd become extremely lazy. You wouldn't look back to the original part of the book, and you'd go just to the colour pictures. So for that reason, it's intermixed with colour and black and white pictures, it's into themes. Some of the difficulties that I found over the compiling of it was the spelling of people's names. Joe Burke, is there an O or a U, or is there both in it? Whichever it is, it's as it is in the book now. Marion Duffy, is it an A or I-O-N, or an A-N at the end of it? Anne Duffy, was it an E at the end of it or no E? And it is, Anne told me it's with an E, so it's with an E. Pat McIntyre designed the book, designed the cover. So what Pat has designed here, he has the facts, faces and folklore in the text of the layout of the design of the book. But that also matches the club crest. And what Pat has put together there is, it's quite amazing. It's a modern look, it's vibrant, and it's probably very unique in a golf club or any club's history, a design like that. And Pat and Pam, they're great members of the club, and as I say, they're 2 genuine people. Now typically with a book like this, it could cost 30 to 35 euro, and that would be the production cost of a book, so that's what it would cost for us buying it. And people might buy it reluctantly at 30 or 35 euro, or as my mother would say, it should take the good out of it. But we were lucky, we had 3 sponsors in Port West. Port West is a 120-year-old company, 5,500 employees, sells PPE to over 130 countries. We had a Castlecourt Hotel group celebrating 50 years. We've Anne Corcoran coming in as lady captain next year. And Castlecourt Hotel group employ 600 people in their 3 hotels. And then we have AbbVie celebrating 10 years, over 50,000 employees, and sending products to patients to 175 countries. This book sells for 20 euro. All of the proceeds, and we reckon it will be around 6,000, will go to the club. That means that all of the books need to be sold, but that's what it's worth to the club, is 6,000 euro. So it's a win-win for the club. But it's important that members present, past, and people who are anyway associated with it, it's up to ye who are here to go out and promote it. Not for my sake. Do it for the club. Putting it together, there were some anxious moments. Computer freezing, you'd lose hours of work, change the format, and the first drafts that came back. But I am absolutely delighted the way the book has turned out. I want people to enjoy the book, so I want this to be your book. I want you to make it your own. The final chapter is designed in a way that if there's a picture that's special to you that's not in the book, don't blame me. Blame yourself. But also use it as an opportunity, as Colette said, it is download the pictures and put them in there. So that's what that last section is there for. As you read through the contents, it will certainly spark or ignite or rekindle some memories. As you turn the pages, you will see the facts, the faces, and the folklore. And some of it will bring happiness, and some of it will bring emotion, and will bring sadness of members of loved ones. The history is recorded in this book. In 100 years' time, people will look back and they will see people and they'll see events that are all date stamped to a specific date or a specific date, and it will be used as a reference. And just as Ollie White is doing tonight in recording the history on video and on YouTube, history isn't always in the past. Today's events become tomorrow's history. And if it's not captured today, the moment passes. When myself and Ali are both dead, the written word and the YouTube will remain long after us. This is the club, it's the hub of the community. A week ago, Kilmina became a senior football team winning the intermediate championship. And as part of the community hub that it is, they would like to bring it up the cup here later on, which is really good. Sonny inside in the bar is doing a promotion, and this is something new that he's doing. So this is the club. So he's doing a 20% discount on if you eat here using this menu, or if you come and collect it. And if you don't, you won't get the 20%, but he'll deliver it free anywhere in town. And Mark downstairs is doing a 40% discount off selected clothing. That's just in connection with the book launch. It's also, I suppose, an opportunity in the book that we recognise and acknowledge the value of our sponsors in the club over that 50-year period and going back beyond that. So I'll finish where I began, is to thank every one of you for coming. The history is being created here tonight. So that's part of the facts. What we're doing tonight is also creating history. Colin McKeown is capturing the faces of people in the golf club on this event. And so let this be, a night to remember, and for everybody it to become part of your folklore and the folklore of the great golf club that is Westport Golf Club and the great Carraholly community. Thank you very much.
I think all that's left to be said is thank you, Liam. Thank you for an amazing book, an amazing speech. It will provide hours of entertainment for us, for our families, and for future generations to come. The book is now launched, so it's on sale. So I would encourage as many people as possible to buy. And I'll just say thank you very much for being here tonight and for sharing this with us. And safe home. Thank you.